I was watching that Chris Norlund video that he made on Lou. You know, the only thing like that he was focusing on in the video was that Lou was arrested for fraud and, had to pay back the $73,000 that he stole from senior citizens. He agreed to that. He did pay that back, by the way. There are court documents showing that he did, in fact, pay back the $73,000 restitution, courtesy of the AMC apes, courtesy of us. But that's pretty much all he was saying. I mean, there's so much more than just that. Like, that's all he covered, basically. All right, he was arrested. We all know this. What about the fact that he claims he has, Wall Street experience, Wall Street connections that are some of the most prestigious, Wall Street traders, hedge funds, that he says that he has connections with corrupt banks that are offering him multi-millions of dollars to sell out retail. He said he turned down more money that he would have made on the MOAS. What about the fact that he's been pumping AMC as the biggest thing? Remember, he said it's going to be life-changing wealth. It's going to help you, help your family if you have cancer. And now he's giving away all of his money, according to Lou. According to Lou, he's like, once we MOAS, I have a special person in my life who I'm giving all my AMC MOAS money to. I'll always make money. What about the fact that he says he owns a penthouse and lives in a Section 8 apartment with his mom? So this guy, Chris, whatever his name is, Norland, whatever, he left out a lot of details. I could go on and on and on with this guy. I mean, there's just so much like content. He says he owns 2 Teslas. Where are they? He's always on the subway. He's in the Dominican Republic, says he owns the Porsche. He shows keys. It's the wrong set of keys. I said, Lou, open up the door, take it for a drive. He never did. So, I mean, that was like a Commander 35, an Amish 35 boy move. When Commander 35 goes in a parking lot, he starts filming things. He's like, that's my car. I own this. I own that. That's all Lou does. Lou might as well go to the Empire State Building and film it and say, I own this. You know what I mean? So, Chris Norlund, he did a poor job, in my opinion. I mean, you're only mentioning one thing. There's a very long list of red flags with Lou. Okay, and the biggest red flag to me is he never showed his AMC portfolio. You have no idea if this guy is even an ape. I mean, this is a guy who's made a lot of money on YouTube. Now, see, people get mad at me because they're like, Apefather, are you a capitalist? Are you a communist? Like, do you have a problem with people making money in America? No. I'm a capitalist. I'm a patriot of this country. Okay, I hope that Lou, if he did it the right way, made $300 million. But what's the right way and what's the wrong way? The right way is when you're being yourself. That's it. And whoever yourself is, okay? In other words, you're not trying to be something you're not. But when you're lying to people, especially when big money is on the line, in some cases, people's life savings, Lou's lying to people. Lou has no disclaimer. Lou doesn't say, I'm not a financial planner. I don't give financial advice. I'm an entertainer. He doesn't say these things. So what does Lou say? Lou actually says that I met with a hedge fund today who told me, I mean, I've heard multiple videos like this, that AMC, remember this was back in the day, was going to shoot down to 30 and then immediately shoot up to 100 and it's going to start a managed event. Does any of this ring a bell? But he's not saying this is his opinion. He's not saying he's got a gut feeling. He's not saying that he's an entertainer. He's saying that he met with some major hedge fund who relayed this information to him, and now he's relaying it to you. And then on top of that, the guy has predicted everything wrong with AMC about 1,000 times. I mean, Elon Musk selling his shares is going to cause the squeeze. Evergrande default, they're going to cause the squeeze. Now, it's so funny. I love it how he contradicts himself. Lou always contradicts himself. He's like, oh, the higher interest rates is a good thing. Remember, he said all of this. It's going to cause the squeeze. But then he makes videos saying, oh, no one's talking about. I understand AMC's not squeezing, but no one's talking about the higher interest rates. It's like he contradicts himself. It's like, you know what I mean? Market crash. It's going to cause the AMC squeeze, right? Then he'll make a video like a month later. We did squeeze, but hey, guys, after all, we're in like a market crash. It's like he's contradicting. He's like, no one's understanding this. March 3rd, we're going to squeeze. Doesn't happen. Transparency rule goes into effect. The SEC transparency rule. Once it goes into effect, we're going to squeeze. Doesn't happen. If we don't squeeze in the month of March, we're not squeezing at all. And then he keeps coming up with new predictions, like we're going to squeeze it a couple of days. How do you go from we're not going to squeeze at all? This is what he said. If we don't squeeze in the month of March, AMC will not squeeze at all. It's amazing to me that he can still continue to make AMC videos after that. Then he says, oh, it's going to squeeze in 2 days. Doesn't squeeze. Oh, it's going to squeeze in July. Let's see. Listen, it's again, see, people misinterpret why I make these videos. They're like, Apefather, don't you want AMC to squeeze? Of course. What are you nuts? What are you out of your mind? I want AMC to squeeze more than you. But the thing is, when you're listening to someone who's a pathological liar and you're, entrusting in him, look, I did. I'm admitting why do you think that I have such a vendetta against Lou? Lou was the main reason I put $185,500 into AMC at a very high price, $53, back last year in June of 2021. It's, again, like, look, I made that decision. I take full responsibility as a man. I made that decision. No one forced me to make it, but I was, in fact, listening to Lou, and now I realize a year later what an idiot I am. You know what I mean? Because this guy is a con man. He's a blatant con man who obviously never worked on Wall Street. He obviously has no Wall Street experience or Wall Street connections. This whole YouTube channel is just like it's like watching a Walt Disney movie. It's all make-believe, like, Fantasy Island. Deplay. Lou is capitalizing on people who are either new to the market, don't know what they're doing, and, just basically telling them a fairy tale story that's not real in order to get views and subscriptions, and it has worked to his benefit. He has made enough money, where he did the crime and the AMC apes did the time. We paid for his restitution. So with the money he made on YouTube, he was able to pay back his restitution. Who else knows what he does with his money? I mean, I don't know. I know he travels back and forth to the Dominican Republic a lot, supposedly to get treatments, medical treatments. So another thing is that the guy obviously has severe health issues, specifically with the brain. I mean, the guy he actually admitted it. He said, I had a stroke. Now again, I'm not wishing anybody bad health, but you're listening to a guy who might be similar, to someone who has dementia. You're listening to something, because a lot of times he doesn't make sense. Like, he made a video one time saying, if we become rich, we're going to be the assholes. He's like, because right now the hedge funds are the assholes. I don't want to become no rich asshole. It's like, then what are we doing here? What do we play, musical chairs? We're here to become rich. We're here for the biggest transfer of wealth, I don't know. He's like, maybe it's wrong if we win. Maybe it's wrong, and then people like the Lou fans are saying it's poetry. He's trying to be a poet. Here's a poet. Is Lou a con man? That's the question, right? There's poetry. Shakespeare. Yes.